hello. And why was that changed like that? Keep doing these updates. There we go. Good evening, work to Fans Live here on Sunday, the 28th of September 25. And straight away, my signal's dropped. That's not good. Hopefully, I'm still online. Hope we're all doing this evening. I hope you're all well. Please let me know in the comments if I'm still coming through okay. I was going to say hello to you in the comments. So, good evening to Laura. Hope you are well this evening. Good evening to Catherine. And indeed, I played both versions of the Grange Hill, one from the mid-90s and one from the start of the 70s. And who else we've got? We've got our Rachel. Good evening to you. Hope you are well. Good evening to Audio Coffee and Lee Stevens and our good friend Steffi. Hope you're all well. And also our mod, PJ Paul James. Oh yeah, it must have been like this week. Let me just think back. It's not been too bad this week, has it, really? But high pressure in charge to our northeast. Been mostly dry. Obviously, we had some rain overnight. It's been quite wet over towards western areas during the day yesterday before it swept through during the day. Sorry, through the night last night. Good evening to Matthew. Hope you are well. Excuse me a second. This evening, I will just be discussing the latest in the tropics. Obviously, if you have not heard anything this yet, we've got two storms at the moment in the tropical Atlantic, but we're just going to take a look to see how they will affect us during the later part of this week and if it will affect America or not, especially with... I've forgotten the name already. With Imelda, that's the name, Imelda. So yeah, let's just crack straight onto it and bring up the satellite from the National Hurricane Center. Excuse me. So we've got a beautiful satellite of both the storms, actually. So what we see, let me just tap myself off full screen, bring that onto full. So there we go. So we've got a beautiful imagery there of Humberto here on the right, Hurricane Humberto, who was a Category 5, but I think it's gone down to Category 4 during this afternoon. Right this morning, it was producing sustained winds of 160 miles an hour. So that'll be definitely a Cat 5, but I think it's gone down to a Cat 4. It's just starting to make a turn towards the northwest, I believe. We've got this developing one here, which was Tropical Depression Imelda, which I'll just double check now if that's been upgraded to Tropical Storm Imelda. Yes, it has. We'll get more details on that in just a few moments. So yeah, it's not very often you see two storms this close together, and we'll have a look at the forecast tracks for these. But this one here is going to have some impacts towards the east coast of America. So it's not expected at the stage to make landfall in America, but we'll just see the track of that in just a moment. Excuse me. But yeah, just that beautiful image there of Humberto just there. A beautiful swirl of cloud just there. I'll just try and bring another graphic up onto the screen in just a second. I knew what I meant to do before I went live. Just seen a comment there saying Imelda took a while to get organised. Yeah, it took a while, but she's definitely started to strengthen now as she goes into these warmer waters still off the coast of Florida. So let's change the graphic to the latest from the Hurricane Center. First, we'll have a look at Humberto. So the key messages from Humberto is there's an increasing risk of tropical storm force winds affecting Bermuda by late Tuesday. Interest there should monitor the progress of Humberto, and watches could be issued later today. And with Humberto, dangerous marine conditions, including high surf and life-threatening rip currents, are affecting beaches of northern Caribbean, the Bahamas, and Bermuda. The dangerous surf conditions are expected to begin affecting the US coast on Monday. So let's have a look at the track of Humberto. So the track currently has it moving west-northwest at 30 miles an hour. It has dropped down to 150 miles an hour, so it's a strong end Cat 4 major hurricane, and that continues to progress towards the west of Bermuda before, by the time we get to Wednesday, Thursday, start tracking out into the open Atlantic. And we'll go and have a look at Imelda. So this has this afternoon been upgraded to a tropical storm. And the key messages from it says Tropical Depression 9, but obviously it's not been updated on this screen here. It's now been upgraded to a tropical storm. So the depression is expected to strengthen and bring tropical storm conditions to portions of central and northwestern Bahamas through Monday. Tropical storm conditions are also possible along portions of the east coast of central Florida beginning Monday. The rainfall associated with the system will continue to impact eastern Cuba and the Bahamas through Tuesday, which will likely produce flash and urban flooding. Mudslides are possible in the higher ground. Heavy rainfall across the coastal Carolinas could cause flash, urban, and river flooding into Wednesday morning. The risk of significant wind impacts along the southeastern United States coast is decreasing, but interest in that area should continue to monitor the latest forecast updates. And also, swells and high surf on both Humberto and tropical storm Imelda are expected to produce dangerous marine conditions and rip currents along the east coast of Florida and Georgia coast through Monday. These conditions are expected to spread northward along much of the east coast in the United States over this week. So we'll take a look at the forecast track of Imelda. So currently affecting the Bahamas, and it will move up towards the eastern side of Florida before making a right turn, really, heading towards Bermuda itself. So Bermuda could be hit with these two storms. Obviously, the first one we saw was actually going around Bermuda, but if Bermuda don't get hit by Humberto, there's a possible chance that it will be hit by Imelda. At this stage, forecast is Imelda will not be into a major hurricane status, and it's got this actually weakening quite quickly as it heads out past Bermuda into a subtropical depression. But obviously, we're talking about 5 days away, so a lot can change between now and then. Right. Just going to bring up the next. The next slide, please. Just bear with me a second. Just going to pop back into the chat a second. Is anyone else coming since we started chatting? Good evening to James, our other mod. Good evening all. Clear and calm out, 4.2 degrees. That's nice and chilly. No one else has come in since. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flick over to Ventusky and give another look at these two storms. So these are the wind gusts. So, wow. Just going over Humberto. This has wind gust up to around 162 miles an hour. So that'll be a bit blowy there. Thankfully, it's out in the open water. If I was out in that, it'll just blow off any hair I've got left. So let's bring this forward through to tomorrow, see where these storms are expected to be. So during this time tomorrow, Humberto is still producing wind gusts of about 130 miles per hour, and Imelda will be producing winds of about 61 miles an hour. There they are side by side. You can actually see the wind going over the top here. So still up to full circulation, but obviously when these storms are out in open water, they've got their own circulation, but these are actually almost interacting with each other. As we're heading to Tuesday, Humberto by then is still producing wind gusts over 130 to 140 miles per hour. I think that's Bermuda just there, so it's passing to the west of Bermuda. And Imelda is then producing winds of around about 60 to 70 miles an hour. What's going to happen once Humberto starts going to open water, it seems to actually start pulling this system towards it, like with it, shall we say. So is that going to let me go into the first? Actually, I wonder if it's going to let me just bring that up to now. Let me just see if it will play. So playing that forward there. So that's through the early hours of tomorrow morning. Just excuse me a second. My big cat's trying to eat our little cat's food. Just bear with me. Not yours, you've been fed. Sorry about that. Still with the kittens in just a different room at the moment. So yeah, as we head into Tuesday, Humberto starts to move towards the north. Then as that starts to move away from like the western Atlantic, it just allows Imelda to start moving towards the east. So a bit of the Wijifara effect happening there. Noticing in the middle here where you've got this calmness of winds here, which is quite interesting. So a bit of a call happening there. So as we head into the next few days, this takes the remnants of Humberto up into the Atlantic. Does that approach the UK? Obviously, by then it will be a subtropical mid-latitude storm by then. Let's just bring that back towards the end of the week. So later this week into the weekend, next weekend, all eyes are on what happens with the remnants of Humberto. So this is the Icon model, which what does that do with Humberto? It brings it towards the UK. So we've got wind gust, maybe 50, 60 mile per hour. So that sends that over towards the UK. Obviously, by then, it would not be a hurricane or tropical storm. It would just be a normal mid-latitude depression. Oh, need to I'm logged in now, have I? Let's stop that right there. Let's take that back to now. Let's see if another computer model. So GFS. So that was the Icon model I was looking at there. So let's see what the GFS do to these storms. So we'll still look at the wind gusts here. So that's taking it through. So tomorrow, these are in 4 hourly periods. Sorry, 5 hourly periods. So as Humberto moves away from America, it helps Imelda to get away from the East Coast as well. So what does the remnants of Humberto do with the GFS? The GFS ends up towards Iceland. And just pause that there because the GFS really brings it down to a 926 hectopascal storm there out towards the south of Iceland. Does the wind affect UK? Let's see where this ends up. So it really brings, as it across the Atlantic, it really brings really strong winds there towards Iceland and through the Norwegian Sea as well. Looks like the UK will get away with most of the strong winds from the remnants of Humberto. With gusty winds up towards Scotland there. I'll just bring this forward and see what it does with Imelda. So we're now looking at next Sunday. So obviously we're getting to the most unreliable time frame as we go this far ahead. And Imelda just seems to not move very quickly, actually. It looks like Jetstream's not picking it up at all. We're now into like day 10 now. So this has Imelda just literally just hovering around the mid-Atlantic, really. Even if when we're heading to days 10, Imelda is not really moving much at all. So obviously the Jetstream's not picking it up at all. Let's just pause that right there. Let's bring the time frame back to now. So I've got another computer model. So I've got an ECMWF. Let's put it forward to right about now. Let's bring those storms on there. So this is the GFS run. 28th, yep. So let's play that through, see what they do with these systems. So again, there's Humberto heading up north there through Tuesday. Now starts to pull away. It starts to bring Imelda with him. So what does the ECMWF do with the remnants of Humberto? Very similar to the Icon, actually. With the GFS, it sends it to a deep area of low pressure up towards Iceland. And I was like, this perhaps merges with another low pressure what time we get into days 7 and 8. So let's bring that back. So there's what's left of Humberto there on Friday. Bring that forward through into Saturday. And the Remnants is just crossing the UK there. So with quite strong winds through the UK. Take it frame by frame. So there's the remnants of Humberto. Got this warm front crossing the country overnight into Saturday. Bring some of these strong winds with it. So not talking extreme, shall we say. Talking perhaps up to gale force, he says, as he looks at that. So what's happened between that and that? So it looks like the centre of that low actually crosses up towards the north of Scotland. What's going on here? Still on ECMWF. 7 o'clock. Oh, so I wonder if is that a secondary low to form in there? We'll go back to 3 o'clock. So there's Humberto there, remnants. We'll have a look at the ECMWF charts in just a moment. Just try and make head and tail of this at the moment. So it looks like with that 1 o'clock there, it's shown an area of that perhaps the remnants of Humberto, perhaps crossing the jet stream and actually taking that up towards Norwegian Sea. And it looks like perhaps another low pressure develops right behind it. That's that under low pressure. Sorry about this, guys. What's going on here? It's not making much sense to me at the moment. So there's a mild on Thursday. But block close to the US, which with the other computer models was showing. Then she moves down towards the southeast. Then looks like she heads back towards northwest. So I don't know what's going on with that. So that was just ECMWF having a brain fart. I don't know. So let me just come back on the screen here. There we go. Yeah, I'm very confused from the ECM. Yeah, I'm not making head or tail of that, to be honest. We'll have a look at the GFS charts, GFS charts in just a second. Just go back up through your comments. Kitty alert. Yep, I'll bring her out from the other room in a second. Hopefully she's not going to mess around. Come on, play on Daddy's keyboard. No, she's not going to do that. I'm not going to let it happen. Agreeing to Suits, thank you for joining this evening. Joining us this evening on One of the Fans Live. Audio saying she's got a week of going nowhere. The buses are on strike. That's usually the trains that's going on strike, isn't it? Which means the weather's going to be good all week. Well, I think about 10 days ago, I bought myself a brand new hydrometer to measure the wind. Guess what? Since it's turned up, everything's just gone calm. So I've not been able to use it at all. I bought myself a new one for a while. And I bought it, and since then it's just been virtually high pressure since I bought it. So I'm not really giving it a test just as yet. Everybody smash the like button, or Paul James will appear on your doorstep dressed as Pikachu. Did you agree to that, Paul? Someone run something like that last night. There's just no alert deep in. All of a sudden, Spinelli's trying to work it out. broken fuse run from the ECM. Yeah. No, he didn't agree to it. No rain forecast for my area until next Friday. We shall have a look at the charts in a second. Excuse me again. Right. Let's let her in. Hopefully she's not going to cause havoc in here. So I've opened the door. Let's see if it makes an appearance. Right, let's go have a look at the latest GFS then. 12Z. Actually, scratch that. We're going to take a look at the FACS charts between now and Friday and see will that show of Humberto. Right, let's take myself off full screen. She is the official co-host after all. Yep, I've opened the door, so she's free to come in. That usually gets her attention. Right, let's have a look at the FACS charts from the Met Office. So there's that cold front that came through overnight. There's the remnants of names just gone out of my head. This happens a lot. Gabrielle. Storm Gabrielle, Tropical Storm Gabrielle. That's given quite a lot of heavy rain to parts of Iberia at the moment. So don't be surprised within the next 24 hours, you could see reports of flash flooding. Well, flash flooding or flooding of some sort across Iberia. So as we head into Monday, I'll just call my eye there. So the remnants of Gabrielle is expected to move into North Africa. Heavy showers and thunderstorms possible for parts of Northwest Africa through Iberia as well. We've got deep air of low pressure forming towards the southeast of Greenland. Let's see what that takes. So under high pressure through Monday into Tuesday. So things are settled. Plenty of weather systems out in the Atlantic. Heading to Wednesday, we're still under high pressure. Winds coming in from southwesterly. And there's just plenty of weather fronts out towards the west. Still under high pressure as we head into Thursday. That's very helpful, Met Office. As we head, as we head into Thursday. That's the latest. We're still under high pressure. Pressure is obviously dropping towards the northwest. So it's the classic northwest-southeast split. Sorry, I just see Stormy out the corner of my eye then. No, that should probably make an appearance in the next few minutes. So from Wednesday into Thursday, I think this here, it says Exxon Humberto sitting there. Well, I'll hazard a guess this could be Exxon Humberto just sitting just here. And obviously, this is as far as I can go with the FACS chart from the Met Office. So look at the UK. I won't take a look at the UK because it doesn't show the Atlantic. It just shows the UK. So let's have a look at the GFS latest run from 12 o'clock today. I've got the pressure charts. I'll run through and see what this does with Humberto. So as I mentioned, that's the remnants there of Gabrielle. We've got this ridge of high pressure moving after that rain overnight. And as I mentioned, it just turned into the classic northwest-southeast splits. The further southeast you are, the drier it will be. Can't rule out rain perhaps affecting like the northwest of the UK through northern Scotland to Ireland. Wind will be more stronger in these areas through to Wednesday. And coming into Wednesday night into Thursday, we are seeing Humberto, the one getting it from, making an appearance. So what happens to Humberto on this GFS 12Z run? Well, before then, we've still got high pressure sat towards Scandi. We're bringing in more of a slight southerly, perhaps turn to southwesterly, especially towards the northwest. And as that approaches, also we could have a weather system coming through the UK, perhaps down a depth as it moves southeastwards, bumping into the area of high pressure. Went to be quite gusty actually through much of England and Wales. Sorry, much of the UK. There's the remnants of Humberto there. It turns into a really powerful mid-latitude storm. We did see like about a 9.28 coming on the Ventusci site. So really deep area of low pressure. And there's the remnants of Amalda. And that's a classic bullseye low pressure. My goodness, look at the isobars popping out of that. So it looks like it's going to go through perhaps the left exit there of the jet stream. But not very often you see a chart like that where you've literally got a bullseye target like that. So many isobars popping out of it. Port Iceland will be under right attack there with that if that was to come off next weekend. What this does will be strong winds, but a very blustery day Friday night into Saturday, especially further north west you are. Then that goes towards the eastern side of Greenland. Will remain blustery Sunday into Monday. We've got another weather front crossing the country into Monday night. Then that fills. Actually, that main ex-tropical storm Humberto moves towards north, then another low develops underneath it, and it just gets swallowed up by that. This has again shown Amalda just sitting out in the Atlantic, not moving too far. We should get picked up by the jet. Got that area of low pressure then moving south across the UK through into day 10, 11, 12. And that just sits on top of the UK through day 14. And goes right to Malda. Then eventually crosses the UK after being picked up by this area of low pressure out towards the Atlantic. Just going back onto your comments. Dartboard low. Laura saying, Kev, I had it further south than that. One to watch indeed. Yeah, as we know, a lot can happen. A lot can happen between now and then. I've lost my tab. There it is. So let's go and have a look at the 850 HPA. Oh, not that one. So let's run this forward. So obviously you've got your mid-latitude storms, which are fueled by temperature difference, and with the hurricanes, they're actually fueled by the sea below them. So what you see with the hurricanes here, they've got a warm core here, but as it moves further into the cooler waters, you'll then get the cold core and it will transition into a mid-latitude storm. So what you see there, that warm core then disappears. Then it will turn into a mid-latitude storm. So it hasn't got the warm core anymore. It turns into a mid-latitude storm. As if you can see, Malware, she's still got that warm core. So that's straight crossing the jet stream and is getting transformed into a very deep mid-latitude storm. Let's have a look at the jet stream with this actually. Let's bring that forward through into Wednesday. So there's quite a strong jet stream coming out of North America into Wednesday. Set off there. There we go. I think this here might be where Humberto will be sitting and look at that jet stream coming through the mid-Atlantic there. And no surprise, really. So what I'm going to do, let's bring up the sea level pressure charts for the same time. So there's Humberto just sitting there. So Humberto will be sitting right about there. So Humberto is actually sitting just underneath this jet streak, just here, through into Thursday. Now, what Humberto does actually crosses that, goes through the left exit. Hang on a second. Do you want to say hello to the boys and girls? Look, do you want to say hello? But so there she is. You do want to stay with Daddy or not? Say hello to everybody, Stormy. No. No. Goodbye. I can't afford a parrot, so I've got a kitten instead on my shoulder. Actually, let me just turn off the background. No, that's not the one. Let's turn the settings off. Let's turn off the background. So you can see her messing around behind me. Look. Excuse me. Leave the curtains alone. We don't need you doing that. Say hello to everybody at home. There's Stormy. Who's that? Who's that? Is that you? All right. I like to keep my skin on my arms, thank you. There she is. Just okay. What? Right, let's get the background back on. So there we are. There's Stormy. Right, where was we? Don't you start messing around now. It's a live show. So yeah, back to here. So this is Humberto, remnants of Humberto just here, going through the left exit, and you can just see it just powers into a very powerful mid-latitude storm. Let's turn that off there. Let's have a look at the wind gusts, actually. Let's turn that back down to Monday, Tuesday. So let's see how much it affects us by the weekend, how strong the winds will be. So light winds across the UK for much of this week, perhaps getting to 30 to 40 miles an hour towards the northwest. So there's a possible weather front coming through there into Friday night. Sorry, Thursday night to Friday. That's where we start seeing the first signs of ex Humberto. So it keeps the winds out towards the northwest of the UK. It's not making too much impact. Right. Look, pussycat, leave those blinds alone. Otherwise, I'll put you back in the kitchen. Are you listening? Stop causing bloody... Stop playing with those blinds. You're not hungry. You don't need to eat me. And off she goes to create chaos and mayhem. Yep. My finger is not food. Can you hear her purring away? No, you're not going on. You're not going on the laptop. Thank you. It's like, Daddy, get off me. I'm not a chew toy. Hey? Yes, play on the no, Rachel, she's not going to play on the laptop. Look at her trying to bite me. Can I carry on doing this live now? You're going to stop messing around. You're going on those blinds again. Come on, lie down. You're going to play on, if you play with those blinds again, you're going back in the kitchen. They say never work with kids. Never work with kittens either. Watch your mouse. It's a laptop, so I don't have a mouse, thankfully. Matthew. Kelly's saying, looks like the Atlantic is going to blow in October. Well, with these extratropical storms, it looks like things are also going to start to pick up. Luckily, you don't have blinds. I'll have to second. I have. That's the issue. One of our big cats already broke one of the slats because she was a bit big. She got bum stuck. She broke one of the light slats. Right, let's go back again towards the Atlantic. So there's the remnants there of Humberto, just affecting the northwestern side of Ireland and Scotland. So I could get winds up to maybe gale force, but it only takes a minor deviation further south but to be more impactful for the UK. Let's have a look at the wind speeds. So let's bring that forward. This is the Atlantic view and Europe as well. So we should start seeing Humberto make an appearance on the left-hand side of the screen. So there he is, crossing the Atlantic. Then we'll start to see it getting picked up by the jet stream and watch it blow up stronger. So there's some white showing just through into Friday night, puts wind speeds around about 90 miles per hour plus. So just bear in mind, as I mentioned, this will not be a hurricane. It would just be a mid-latitude storm by then, a very powerful mid-latitude storm. Oh, this kitten. And if you can hear her messing around now. You leave the door alone. Right, let's not get distracted. So let's have a look at the ECMWF for this week. And this only goes as far as Wednesday, so we'll see what it does with Humberto, the world remnants of. So we're under high pressure through rest of, well, we don't need to, I could say, because we're virtually been and gone. So under high pressure through Monday, into Tuesday, into Wednesday, and Thursday. Oh, I do apologise. We'll show this. So there's the remnants of Humberto there crossing the Atlantic to Wednesday. Then on Thursday, sorry, Humberto on Thursday. Then on Friday, the remnants of Humberto scoots up towards the northwest of the UK. So with this run, it doesn't fire up Humberto into a deep mid-latitude storm until Saturday towards north of Scotland into the Norwegian Sea between Greenland and over the Faroe Islands, to be honest. And even that has it dropping like a grid around about 940, 930 millibars into Saturday. So then as we head into Sunday, we're under high pressure once again. Still a bit gusty towards the northwest of Scotland, Northern Ireland. We've got another low there developing just to the southeast of Greenland. There's the Imelda. Monday the 6th. What's left of Humberto there. Another area of deep low pressure forming towards Iceland. The remnants of Imelda just sitting there. So it's still drier towards the south of the UK, more wetter and windier towards the north of the UK, and into Tuesday. That low pressure still sitting towards the south of Iceland. Still got this southwesterly airflow, drier towards the southeast. Again, it could be spells of rain or showers towards the northwest of the UK. And we've still got Imelda sitting there into the early part of next week. So we're looking around about days 9 and 10. And finally, Wednesday, the 8th of October, that low pressure, which isn't the remnants of Humberto, still sat towards north of Scotland. So we're bringing a weather front through the UK. Quite cool as well as the winds come from a returning polar maritime, so northwest to westerly. High pressure sunk back into the Azores and the near continent, and Imelda still wants to play in the Atlantic a bit further. Twins day 10. All right, let's pop head back into the chat then. We'll take a look at what the ECMWF is showing for the weekly anomalies. The Daily Express will probably call it a hurricane. Yep. They like to talk so much about the weather, but they don't know anything about it, do they? If Matthew's still here, I've just seen your comment there. I'm going to say good night and have a great week. You too, my friends. Have a great week. Currently, the kittens decide she wants to play with a pipe cleaner. Right, yes. Let's have a look at the ECMWF weekly anomaly charts. So we're looking at the 29th of September through to the 6th of October. And it has a strong air of high pressure up towards Scandi. And low pressure up towards Iceland. So what we've just seen there, where some of the models have got high pressure more towards the southeast. This has it a bit more further north as well. The influence between the high over towards Scandi and the Azores high as well. Lower pressure up towards the northwest. The 6th of October through to the 13th of October. Kind of seen that with the ECMWF there. Did have a low pressure set over towards Iceland. And we're bringing this more of a northwesterly flow across the UK. That Scandi high is pushed further east over towards Russia. And the Azores high, fairly strong actually, towards the west. As I said, we're bringing this northwesterly in. Then 13th of October through to 20th. Turning things quieter, there could be maybe lower pressure up towards the northeast. Under this, we'll still be bringing in that northwesterly. Then the 20th to 27th of October, there's no clear signal there at all. So we're looking perhaps even average compared to normal. And again, through to the end of October to start of November. And perhaps higher pressure towards the start of November. So same charts again, but this time we'll have a look at the precipitation. So for the 29th to the 6th of October, 29th of September through to 6th of October, we're looking around about average across the UK. This could be right at the end of the period where we'll start seeing the remnants of Humberto coming through the UK. It's looking much wetter out towards the northwest. The 6th of October through to the 13th of October, looking about average, still looking wetter towards western Scotland, through Cumbria into parts of Lancashire, North Wales as well. 13th of October to the 20th, looking slightly drier than average. That's slightly wetter towards northern Scotland. The 20th of October to the 27th, we're looking around about average, perhaps slightly wetter towards the northeast of Scotland. And looking around about average to the 27th of October through to the 3rd of November. And the 3rd of November to the 10th of November. And if you can hear that scratching, that's the kitten decides she wants to have a pipe cleaner next to the door. And final chart for this evening is the 2 meter weekly. So, sorry, the kid's distracting me here. The 2 meter temperature for the same time periods. Stop. She's chasing the pipe cleaner, literally sliding across the laminate flooring. So the 29th of September to the 6th of October, much of Century Up, much colder than average. Look at that cold pool just there. So they're experiencing temperatures at least 3 to 6 degrees below average. Be out towards the northwest of Scotland, we're looking around about 3 to 6 degrees above the average. Sorry, 1 to 3 degrees above the average. The 6th of October through to the 13th of October, we're looking around about averaging temperatures. And the same again for the 13th. I'll veg for the rest of this run, really. So definitely significant coolness towards Central Europe compared to normal for the end of September, beginning of October. So in summary for this coming week, we're looking mostly dry away from the northwest. So we need to keep a close eye on what Humberto's doing this week. If it does cross the jet stream, could it turn to quite a very powerful mid-latitude storm? How close will it get to the UK? That's still to be determined as yet. But as we go through the week, we'll obviously get a better idea. And looks like the remnants of Imelda at this stage, especially in the next 10 weeks to 10 days, will be affecting the UK. At this stage, it could just be lingering in the Atlantic with very slow moving, perhaps even die of death at some point in the next couple of weeks. But I say a lot can change in weather in over a few days. And just a thing I was just seeing there. Oh, that's not it. It's just jumped up as I pressed it. Imagine the beast from the east comes early as late November. Well, even if we get an easterly right now, it's not going to make much of a difference. Not going to be too much cold. What I'll do, we'll bring up right now, which will be the very last thing I'll bring up tonight. If I can find it, the snow and ice charts. Thank you for reminding me. So I've got the latest snow cover. Helps if I shared a chart, wouldn't it? Right, last chart. So this is the week difference of the snow cover towards Siberia, eastern Russia. So a change from last week. Seeing slight more cover towards Iberia, but obviously it's still very early in the season yet. If I just enlarge that. There's the animation over the last 7 days. So there's been a slight increase, perhaps slightly pushing towards the west, but not too much at the moment. I say it's very early in the season. Even if we get like a beast from the east now, well, it won't even be a beast. It would just be around about average temperatures if we have an easterly right now. Right. What are you doing, Kat? So I think Gav is still doing his lives on a Monday. And I'm going to end the live there with a cat chasing a pipe cleaner still. So I think Gav's still turning his Mondays into a regular live on a Monday. So yeah. Thank you all for watching this evening. Stay safe this week. Have a great week as well. And we'll try to keep updated on our Facebook page of what's going to happen later this week, perhaps next weekend, with the remnants of Humberto. So take care, everybody. Stay safe. And I shall see you next week at 8 p.m. Take care, everybody. Ta-ra for now.